you start working a lot and the business starts to consume you and you're like, this would be so much easier if I just went back to work for somebody else.
What's up, Jared?
Hey, Joel.
How's it going?
Having fun.
Yeah, having fun, taking names, all that good stuff.
Having a good old day on Podcast Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Having a blast.
Yeah, man. You should talk that way the whole time.
Dude, I don't think I could keep an accent going
I don't think you could either.
a conversation. It would take way too much thought.
It'd take too much
I don't have
thought.
brain power.
The conversation would not be very good because it'd just be saying things that you like to say in your accent.
Yeah. I only know a couple words.
Tacos. I like saying tacos like this. Tacos.
If people could hear our conversations outside of this podcast, I think they would stop listening to our podcast.
Just that was a tidbit, everybody. It sounded sort of like what I just said.
Yes. People would be like, these guys are so stupid.
Yep. They're like, man, these
And
guys
they laugh at the dumbest stuff. Like,
yeah.
what do they think?
And the funniest part is they don't know is when we end up watching our podcast back, we laugh at the exact same parts.
Do you do that?
Whenever I watch it back, yeah, I totally laugh at the exact same parts with myself.
Do you watch them all back?
No, I think I watched like parts of some, but like, especially when I edited them, then I would tell a joke or you would tell a joke and then I'd laugh, but I'd laugh with myself in the same way. So if I went, ha, 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 I would do that. And then I'd realize I did that and I'd laugh more. It's just kind of a surreal experience.
That's funny.
Yeah, it is very strange. You're like, wow, I really did think that was funny. Here I am laughing at it again.
Yeah, that's cool. Sometimes I listen to our podcast just to see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always better than I expected. I always think like when we're talking and we're recording a podcast, I'm like, this is going to why does anybody listen to this? And it's going to be terrible. And me and Joel just sound like a bunch of idiots. But then I listen to it, I'm like, there's some valuable stuff in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes we might sound like idiots,
Hey,
but
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, me too. You got to do something, right?
Yeah.
Probably maybe better to sound like an idiot than to, sound like nothing.
Folks, it's always better to have a little bit of idiot in you than to sound like nothing. That's for sure.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother. Especially if you're on a podcast, because if we sounded like nothing, it'd be a real lame podcast.
Oh, dude. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, it would be. Yeah. What are we going to talk about? Podcast. On this podcast, we're going to talk about why people started a plumbing business in the first place.
Yeah, I think so. That was going to be my question to you. I always wondered that.
Did you?
Yeah, but I think you've talked about it before.
Like why they go start it or that they need to remember why they started it. I guess they all started. I guess there's both of those in there, huh?
Yeah, one of those. The second thing is definitely something that you need to sometimes remember as you're going, right? You remember why you're doing the thing that you're doing because that can help you continue to do the thing.
And I think that's probably the important part. And I think if you dug into it deep enough, the reason you started in the first place is most likely the same thing as the thing you need to remember moving forward.
Yeah, because especially if we start something with a high level of energy and excitement, and we're like, this is awesome, I'm gonna get there. I mean, that's like true for anything, right? Like remembering why you got into business in the first place.
Yep,
is gonna help you when you're like, why did I get into business in the first place? When you're having that moment or whatever, when you remember that you're like,
customer calls and
you're like, this sucks,
or wrecks your vehicle or something.
Yep, some weird
breaks a $10,000 piece of equipment.
Yeah, or it's just a long grind. You just didn't see the growth that you thought you'd see, and it's like harder than you thought it was. And then you got to go reflect. So, I mean, why even start a plumbing business?
Yeah, I don't know why. No, I know why.
That's it, folks. That's what you get today.
Don't do it. No, I would definitely do it again for sure. I wish I did it sooner. I wish I committed to it sooner because it's been so fruitful for me to do it. Not just for money, not just for freedom, but for personal growth. I know we've talked about that a lot, but it's been so fruitful in all of those areas that I wish I would have done it sooner and stuck with it sooner, for sure. I know why. Like initially, I started a plumbing business because I had the thought that I was going to work every day, day in and day out, making my employer money, but then not making enough money for myself. That's what I felt like. And I was tired of never having enough money. And then on top of that, being tied to going to work for somebody else day in and day out on their schedule, and then doing my work on their terms, doing my work their way, right?
Mhm.
I was just tired of that. And so I know initially I was like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to make more money and I'm going to have more freedom and it's going to be awesome.
Mhm.
And really, those are like the same things that like kept me going the whole time. It just
Mhm.
looked totally different than what I thought it would look like initially.
Hmm.
Initially it was I thought I could just have a one man plumbing vehicle, one man band, one truck
Mhm.
chuck, go do all the
Mhm.
work myself, take care of everything myself, make more money, and have more time and more freedom. But what really happens is, well, what really happened was I didn't make any more money. I actually made less money. And then I didn't have any more time, no more
Hmm.
freedom. Just
Hmm.
became a slave to my business, right?
Sure.
And it wasn't until I learned how to actually structure my business properly that I started to gain my time back and gain more money.
Right.
And then it really it wasn't until I developed as a person, right? I went through those character developments to like grow and
Hmm.
turn into this person. So I think and why that's important. Like when you're growing a plumbing business, it's easy. I have guys tell me this all the time. Like especially when they start. There's like a lot of different points in your business when you're like, man, it'd be so much easier if I just either went back to work for somebody else or went back to being a one truck chuck. Because like when you start out and you start number one, you're probably undercharging because you don't know your worth. You don't know
Mhm.
how to figure your prices. And then your name starts to get out because you're cheap and people start hiring you all the time because you're the
Right.
cheapest and you
Yeah.
don't even
Mhm.
realize it why they're hiring you and why you have so much work. It's because you're the cheapest and they're just using you because you're cheap.
Mhm.
Um, and you don't even understand that. But then you start losing all your time. You start working a lot, and the business starts to consume you. And you're like, this would be so much easier if I just went back to work for somebody else. And so 9 times out of 10, that's what a lot of people do. I did it twice
Right.
before
Mhm.
I finally, actually, I did it 3 times really before I finally decided to stick with it. Um, and so you got to remember why you started your business in the first place.
Hmm.
More time, more money. And really, I think most people just want the freedom. Like most people who go into business for themselves, they just love freedom and they want the
Hmm.
freedom.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely see that from the people that I know who started businesses and
Yeah.
listening to successful entrepreneurs is that
Mhm.
usually, I mean, the trope line is always like, I wanted to get out of my 9 to 5
Yeah.
so I could go
Yeah.
live whatever life.
Yeah, there's some people who are perfectly happy 9 to
Mhm.
5ers going to
Mhm.
work day in and day out. They love it. Then maybe they even thrive on it. And that's
Mhm.
cool. I mean, the world needs those people. And the people that typically go into business are the ones who are tired of that. They want freedom. They want to do life on their own terms.
Yeah, and they're also kind of like the type of people who they want to do things a particular way. Like you were
Mhm.
saying, like I know I
Yeah.
listened to all your stories of going to jobs and things aren't just set up how you would do them, but you had no
Mhm.
control over it and it was just annoying you because you're just wasting your time. It still comes back to time
Yeah.
because the way that it was set up, you're like, this is stupid. I'm wasting. I don't know why I'm here. None of my
Yeah.
materials are here. This isn't how it's supposed to go. This is
Yeah.
dumb. If I would have
Yeah.
done this my way, I would have won. I would have done it all really fast. I would have been done. I would have had more time. Would have made more money.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I worked for somebody else, I always felt like my hands were tied. Like I couldn't live up to my full potential. And so there
Sure.
was
Yeah. Hmm.
wasted potential there, you
Hmm.
know? And that was
That's an
never it was never a good feeling. I never, it was lame knowing that I could do more but I was held back. by
Yeah,
somebody else.
that's a good point, is also going into business for yourself so you can actually recognize your full potential.
Mhm,
And that kind of goes back into the other thing that you talked about, which doing things for personal growth. I
mhm,
think that that is an undervalued idea because people like, yeah, freedom, time, and money, right? Those are
mhm,
great things, but those are like the surface level things. I
mhm,
think going down to, okay, I started this business so that I could become the person who is a successful business owner.
mhm.
That is something that you can, I think, is more valuable because you
Yep.
can achieve that time, you can achieve that money, you can achieve that freedom. I mean, honestly, relatively quickly.
Yeah,
But that personal growth side, that's the thing that you're actually going to take with you for the rest of your life.
yeah,
And the better and more honed you are as the person who does those things, the more time, the more money, the more freedom you're going to have. And on top of that is you're going to be able to use that time, money, and freedom better because you
yes.
become a different person and you're not going to be upset with whatever your expectations were when they don't get met.
Yeah, I agree. I think those are all the benefits of owning a business. Um,
Mhm.
the personal growth, you're a better person, the time and the freedom.
Mhm.
But then at the same time, like, I don't think focusing on those things solely is gonna be enough to, like,
Mm.
keep you moving forward. Like, I
Mhm.
think you need
Sure.
to
Mhm.
like, I just remember looking back on me growing my plumbing business and even moving forward, like, where I'm at now, just
Mm.
trying to grow other businesses and more things, right? And make more money and go further in life. Um, the things that like motivate you or keep you going. I don't even want to say motivate. I feel like that's a bad word. But the reasons for you to keep going are, money, time, freedom, all of that is definitely something that I want. But then at the same time, I have to have this other reason. I have to have these very strong things
Sure.
to keep me going. So like in my plumbing business, I don't know how to describe them other than to give you an example.
Mhm.
But like in my plumbing business, it was I wanted to prove people wrong.
Yep.
Like I was never the guy that you thought when you were in high school or you worked with who you were going to be like that guy's going to have a really successful plumbing business and he's going to make lots of money and he's going to go on to grow lots of other businesses and have a
Mhm.
huge impact on the earth. Like that nobody ever said that about me. So the fact that I could go prove to people that I did something that they didn't think that I could do, that held a lot of value to me in my
Mhm.
mind. It was a huge motivator. I hate the word
Mhm.
motivate for some reason, but it
Hmm.
was a huge reason for me to keep going, for me to keep
Mhm.
pushing forward. And then there were like specific people in my life that I knew didn't believe in me, and I wanted
Mm.
like every bone in my body wanted to prove them wrong, right? And that's just kind of
Mhm.
how I was born. I'm kind of like that. I naturally like to prove people wrong.
Mhm.
So to find that, like to realize that and find stuff like that to keep pushing forward, um, that's really good to find. And to mix it in there with the time, the freedom, the
Sure.
personal
Mhm.
growth, and the fact that I get to go prove this person wrong, or the fact that I get to go prove this group of people wrong, or the fact that I get to exceed the expectations of my peers.
Mhm.
Um, that stuff, like when you can mix all that together, then that's a really good way to stay motivated, as much as I hate that word. Um,
Mhm.
but even then, like I would totally define that, like define it down and let it always change. So for
Yeah,
me,
sure.
like write down, like I know like my business coaches and a lot of people, they want you to define they call it your why, right? And they want and it's your why you're in business in the first place, like where you're going and why you're going there. Um, and so if you can nail that down to like items, like things you can actually like
Sure.
perceive and see,
Sure.
right?
Mhm.
So I don't know if you remember, you'd come over to my house and I had that picture of that boat hanging on
Oh,
my
yeah.
fridge.
Oh,
Remember
yeah, I
that?
remember. Mhm.
Yep. And I wrote on there Jared's boat,
Yep, I remember.
and I had that exact same picture hanging on my mirror in my bathroom in my bedroom.
Mhm.
That was just to keep, and it wasn't even that I wanted the boat. It was like what the boat represented to me.
Sure. Yeah.
The boat
Mhm.
was it was a jet boat, right? So you could go out on the river and go fish or whatever. The boat
Yep.
represented I had enough money to just dump 50 grand on a boat and go use it, have the freedom to go use it twice a year
Right.
and go have a fun experience.
Mhm.
And that's kind of like my my why is I want the resources and the time to be able to go do things that I want to do and not have
Mhm.
money be an option. Like that's really my why.
Hmm.
And I think it's important to get stuff like that. Like figure out even just think about like what kind of house do I want to live in? Even though it
Mhm.
might change. Like I printed out a picture of a house that I wanted and how
Mhm.
much it costs. And I would write in my journal every morning, you
Mhm.
know, I live in
Mm.
this
Mhm.
house. I own
Mhm.
this. I can't remember the name of the boat. I own this so and so boat in this color, right? And I
Yeah.
use it twice a year to go on this fishing trip or whatever.
Mhm.
I wrote that stuff down in my journal every day for I don't know, year and a half. And then
Mhm.
it started to change. Like as I made more money and
Mm.
as I
Mhm.
grew in a person and as I kind of discovered like more of what I wanted, that stuff all kind of morphed and changed and because new
Right.
possibilities opened up.
Mhm.
I started expanding my way of thinking and
Mm.
what I
Mhm.
wanted ended up changing. So I never ended up buying the boat, but it was a huge motivator for me to keep going, to wake up and see that
Sure.
boat every morning hanging on my fridge and go, okay, I got to go make this plumbing business work because if I don't, I'll never get the boat.
Mhm.
I'll never have the freedom and the resources to live the life that I want to live.
So tell me what you think of this. What I'm hearing you say is that we'll use the word you don't like, motivation, sort of involves multiple things. Like it's not just one goal or like one achievement, but you had multiple things that were keeping you, multiple reasons to keep going. Because I definitely think that, because I know that I've done this where it's just like, I got this one goal. And that is why I'm doing it, is for this one goal. But I think you need to spread out goals and have multiple goals, whether so that you can achieve something and keep going as you're trying to build to that bigger thing, or you just have like, I don't know, a variety of things to keep you going instead of just like the one thing. I mean, I guess that one thing could motivate you. Like, let's say it's the boat, and every day you wake up, you're like, that's the boat's the only thing I ever need. Maybe that's good enough. But I know for me, like, one goal is like, yeah, cool, there's a goal. I understand that that's what I want, but it's far enough away that I can't feel it, I can't taste it, I can't really experience it. So I need like these other milestones that are leading to that goal. And then if I achieve those, then that helps me to be motivated to the next one and the next one. And then eventually I do achieve the goal that I want, if I even still want that goal. Because by
Mm-hmm.
that time, like you say, you get there and you're like, I don't even care about that anymore. Like there's so
Mm-hmm.
many more interesting things that I've
Yeah.
discovered. Like that sounds
Yeah.
like a pain in the butt, actually. I'm gonna go do this instead.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you're saying is you need smaller goals that get you to your bigger goals. And I'm not like that. I have no problem dreaming far out and then writing that one goal down until I get to it.
Mhm.
And I would so I would say two things probably. I think it'd be important like if you know you're that way then definitely yeah, go
Mm, mhm.
like break that goal down into pieces so that you can go okay, in 3 months I need to hit this goal, then in
Mm,
6 months I
mhm.
need to hit this goal and have them all tied to the end goal,
Mhm.
right? But then even I would encourage most people probably to think like way bigger than just a 3-month out goal or a 6-month out goal or a 1-year out goal or a 3-year out goal. Because what's going to happen when
Mm, mhm.
you grow your business to a point and you make enough money and you get the boat? If the boat
Sure.
was your goal and you got the boat, well, now what? Right? I don't know
Get
about
another
you,
boat.
but get another, yeah, go get another boat. I don't know about you, but for me, it's like I love the process of going and getting the boat. I love the
Sure.
process of putting in the work
Mm.
to go make more money to then go get the boat. So I guess I would want you to think bigger than that, right?
Mhm.
Think like, what kind of impact can I have on my family?
Mhm.
How much money can I give to my church?
Mhm.
Or, those kinds of things. I would think big. I think thinking small is always, it just limits you because I think
Sure.
you're way more capable of what you think you are. And so when
Right,
you think
yep.
small, you only get to small achievements. And I think when you think big, you can get big achievements.
Mhm.
I gotta go answer my doorbell. We'll have
Dude,
to
that's
cut this
awesome. We'll
up.
be right back.
Okay, we're
What's
back.
up? What's up, Jared? Welcome back.
That was
Dude,
the Vivint guy.
the who?
Vivint, he wants to sell me some camera stuff.
Oh, you gonna buy?
He was cool. He was a YouTuber. He's coming back. Told him you
Oh,
gotta come
nice.
back. I got my buddy
T
waiting in there. I'm recording a podcast.
Yeah, I should have made some really loud noises.
Yeah.
Then you would have heard them through your speakers. Ah!
What are we talking about?
We were talking about goal setting. Well, the broader theme is why you even start your plumbing business in the first place. Like that's the broad thing, and we should come back to that to bring it back to
Yep.
speaking to the plumber who maybe want to start their own business or who has already started their own business.
Yeah, we should hit him in like 3 stages. Like, if you just started, or
Mm-hmm.
you haven't started, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
have that dream of more money, more freedom,
Mm-hmm.
you can totally achieve that. So, like, you should
Sure.
maintain that as your thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just know that given the right systems, the right pricing, the right customer, the right way of doing business,
Mm-hmm.
more money, more freedom, totally achievable. So just
Sure.
hold on to
Mm-hmm.
that. Don't ever
Mm-hmm.
stop. Hold on to that.
Mm-hmm.
Then the guy who just started his business, same thing. Hold on to it. Even if you're overwhelmed and you feel like you're overworking and you're not making enough money, that's probably true. You're overwhelmed, you're overworking, and it's because you're not charging enough, you don't have the right systems in place, you're not
Right.
serving the
Right.
right customer. And so you need to just hold on to the fact that you can make more money, you can have more freedom. You just have to figure out how to operate a plumbing business in a way that allows you to do that
Right.
and that it's possible, right?
Right.
And just keep listening to this podcast and watching our YouTube videos because you'll figure it out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then hire a coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hire a coach to help you figure that stuff out.
Mm-hmm. Which we talk about on this podcast in the YouTube videos.
Yes, so we'll probably talk about it again because it's the biggest shortcut to success.
Yep, 100%.
Learning from somebody who's been there, who's made the mistakes, so you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then for the business owner who's in like the thick of it, like they know they've got the systems, maybe they've hired the coach, they've got staff on board, um, and that kind of stuff. Just to know, just to keep going, right?
Yeah,
To
keep
really
going.
come back to, okay, I started this thing because I wanted more money, more freedom. I wanted to grow as a person. I wanted to be able to give to my church. I wanted my family to be able to have the things they wanted. I didn't want to worry about my grocery budget. I wanted
Mm,
that cool boat. Like, for all of them, start writing this stuff down every morning. Get yourself a journal. As gay as it
mhm.
sounds. I have I write it every morning in this journal. To this day,
Mhm.
I have tons of
Mhm.
these every single morning. Let's find a good one. Here we go. See? Ugh, can't even see it. But I write them down
Boom,
every
there it
single morning,
is.
right? Mine have changed a little bit. Like they used to be, I want a boat, I want all these things. Now they've changed to like, because I'm at a different stage in my life, they've changed to different
Mhm.
things, right?
Mhm.
But every day, like if you can start your day out by sitting down and writing in your journal, you're going to be so much better off. And just writing down those things that keep you motivated, as much as I hate that word. If you can just keep those things top of mind every single day,
Mm.
so
Mhm.
every day when you get into it, okay, I'm doing this because I'm going through this hard thing because I'm
Mhm.
sticking with it because then
Mhm.
you're 10,000 times more likely to stick with it.
Mhm.
And that's the thing.
Yeah, that's
It's always so easy to quit.
Yeah,
It's
it
always
is.
so easy to,
Yeah,
and even more
can
like,
always just quit.
here's what's even easier. It's even easier just to stay where you're at because it's
Yes,
comfortable, right?
yes.
And that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to
Mhm.
stay where you're at. When you're the one truck Chuck, or actually,
Right.
no matter what, when you're the guy
Mhm.
working for somebody else and you want to start a business, when you're the one truck Chuck, when you're the guy with employees, maybe you got 2 or 3 guys, maybe you got 4 guys, 5 guys, whatever. You never want to stay where you're at. You never want to get comfortable because I see a lot of people, the next steps are hard and
Mm,
uncomfortable. And so they just want to stay where they're at. They feel
yeah,
safety where they're at. And
yeah,
that's
try to
never
make
a
it
good
work.
thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or they try to, or like, we try to avoid those hard things by staying where we're at, creatively thinking of different ways to do the exact same thing.
Right.
Jared, I'm not really staying where I'm at. I'm doing things differently now. And you'd be like, yeah,
Right.
but did you do those things I asked you to do? And I'm like, well, no, because I'm doing these things instead. And then
Yeah.
you'd be like, yeah, but those things aren't going to work. So
Right.
it's like we're pretty good at tricking ourselves to staying comfortable. Like I know for
Yes.
me, being comfortable is like the default mode. It's the mode that
It's
I want to
that's
be in. That's where I want to be. I want to be comfortable
it's
and
that way
not
for
necessarily,
everybody.
yeah, and it's not necessarily like a contented, like, I'm resting in contentment. It's kind of more like, nah, man, I'm just kind of chilling.
Mhm.
Like it's good over here. Why would I really change this? I got a good thing going.
Yeah,
But I
cuz
think there's,
pushing forward is hard and uncomfortable.
yep, yep.
Yeah,
But what you achieve when you push forward through all that hard and uncomfortable stuff, it's so worth it.
definitely. Yep. And so if you can remember those reasons why to keep pushing forward, why to get uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
why you need to get more comfortable being uncomfortable, those are the things that are going to help you have success. Cuz I guarantee you're going to find those points in your business
Yeah.
where you're scared to move forward because it's
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
and it's a little nerve-wracking and it's risky and it's hard and it requires some work, maybe requires some investment, all of those things. And you're going to think to yourself, it'd be easier just to stay here or it'd be easier
Right.
just to scale back a little bit,
Sure.
right? But what you really want to do is push forward into more freedom, more money, more personal growth, and just a better life for yourself and your family.
Mm-hmm.
It's really what you want.
Dude, let's end it there. That was good.
Cool, man.
Thanks, Jared.
No, thank you, Joel.
Hey, anytime. You're welcome. Any Wednesday. No Mondays, though. Just Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday. See you next
Okay.
Wednesday.
See ya.
Later, later, Holmes. Hey guys, if you like that episode and you want to see more content like that, I picked out a special episode just for you. All you got to do is click right here. Go ahead and do it. Just click right there.